Did you know that Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and desire, was not born of love? She was born of blood and foam. How was Aphrodite born? In the beginning of time there was Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. Uranus feared his children and hid them inside the womb of the earth. Gaia grew to hate him and persuaded the youngest, Cronus, to kill his father. Cronus castrated Uranus and threw his bloodied parts into the sea. The waves hissed and boiled, and from the foam and blood rose a woman, perfect, divine. Thus appeared Aphrodite, whose name means born of foam. But behind her beauty lies a shadow of horror, pain, and betrayal. Her first steps. When she emerged from the sea, the world stood still. Flowers bloomed beneath her feet. The wind wove garlands from her hair. Gods and mortals were struck silent. They could only gaze. But from the very moment she existed, the world began to fall apart from desire. Her power is not love. Aphrodite does not simply make people fall in love. She rules over craving, addiction, passion, lust, obsession. She can shatter marriages, destroy alliances, push hearts toward betrayal, make someone die for a single kiss. An ancient legend says, she kissed a young man, and he saw no one else again. 3 days later, he went blind. A week later, he threw himself into the sea, just to see her once more. It was not a punishment. It was ecstasy turned into a curse. A terrifying story. In the city of Cyprus stood a temple of Aphrodite. The priestesses there were not nuns, but physical vessels of love. One day, a 14-year-old girl arrived. She prayed to Aphrodite to make her beautiful. The next morning, her hair turned to gold. Her eyes began to glow. Her face became perfectly divine. But she could not speak. Every word she tried to say turned into a moan that ignited desire in every man. A month later, she was found dead, in a cave filled with mutilated admirers. Aphrodite was not just beautiful. She was the standard of beauty set by the gods. And what happened to those who refused to worship her? They disappeared, or suffered, or worse. The legend of King Cinyras. Cinyras, king of Cyprus, became famous for building temples without images of the gods, saying, "Beauty lives in people, not in idols." Aphrodite came to him in a dream. As a stunning woman, she silently stretched out her hands. He turned away. The next morning, all his children were blind. His wife died in her sleep, and Cinyras himself began carving women from wood, searching for the perfect face. He died embracing one of his statues, smiling in horror and ecstasy. But why did she envy mortals? Though Aphrodite was the goddess of beauty, she hated anyone more beautiful, even for a moment. One day, a mortal woman named Psyche became the object of love of Eros, Aphrodite's son. Psyche was modest, quiet, and plain, yet people began to worship her, abandoning Aphrodite's temples. The goddess went into a rage. She sent Psyche on impossible missions, even into the underworld. In the end, Psyche died of fear after opening a forbidden vial. Aphrodite smiled. Those who do not shine do not deserve to be loved. A strange tradition once existed. In some regions of ancient Greece, it was forbidden to depict Aphrodite with wings. Why? Because they believed, when love grows wings, it flies off with your sanity. On the Cyclades, there's a legend. An artist once painted Aphrodite flying above the bodies of her lovers. That night, he died, strangled by a golden wreath hanging above his bed. In the morning, the painting was gone. On the wall was a single phrase, "She does not tolerate being looked at from above." Many picture Aphrodite's temples as places of beauty, music, and flowers. But in the oldest cults, she was offered blood. In Cyprus, Ephesus, Corinth, there were temples where priestesses anointed the altar with animal blood, and sometimes human. Especially young girls, offered as gifts of beauty. An inscription found in one such temple reads, "Let their beauty bring no envy. Let their blood appease the one too beautiful to endure another's charm." In some sanctuaries, absolute silence was required. Why? It was believed that even a single sound might awaken the goddess's jealousy, if it praised another woman. In a special hall in Sparta's temple, it was forbidden to speak names, mention family, whisper about love. There, people left locks of hair, rings, drops of blood on rose petals. Those who broke the silence began to lose their voice. A legend tells of a priestess who sang, and by morning, her tongue had twisted like a serpent and strangled her from within. One day, a beggar woman named Anacala came to the goddess. She pleaded, "Make me beautiful, so that just one person may see the human in me." Aphrodite, desiring to be fair, touched her. By morning, Anacala had become more than beautiful. She was divine. Men lost their minds. Women tried to destroy her. 3 days later, she returned to the temple and said, "I am no longer a person. I am a disease. Give me back my face." But Aphrodite answered, "You asked to be seen. Now be eternal." And Anacala vanished. Since then, people in Cyprus say, if you see a stranger with golden eyes, don't look at her face. She is the one they tried to love, but couldn't survive. Though art shows her with seashells, doves, and roses, ancient sources mention very different signs. Snakes coiled around a heart, an open wound on the chest, dripping wine or blood, a bird with gouged out eyes in a cage. These were believed to reflect Aphrodite's true nature. Not love, but obsession, madness, and irresistible desire. You may be surprised, but Aphrodite had a lover, Ares, the god of war. Their union was a storm of violence, jealousy, and death. In one myth, they made love on a battlefield, and at that moment, warriors went insane from fear. They felt no pain. They killed without knowing why. They said, "When Aphrodite comes with Ares, she does not bring love. She takes your will." Aphrodite rose from the sea, but in ancient cult symbols, the sea meant not life but the abyss. On the island of Kos, there's a legend. On the day of Aphrodite's birth, the sea turned red with blood, the gulls vanished, and from the deep rose a woman with eyes full of terror. In some versions of the myth, she didn't come to give beauty. She came to take what humans thought was theirs, the right to feel without consequences. What if she isn't the goddess of love? Some later mysteries say, Aphrodite is not love. She is what comes when you don't know why you love. She is the pull toward the unreachable, the addiction to a glance, the longing that cannot be silenced. Modern tales. In Cyprus, even now, there's a belief. Never call on Aphrodite after sunset. If you say, "Let him love me more than life," she will hear. But in return, she'll take something, your health, a friend, your mind, or love itself. In the end, Aphrodite is not romance. She is a force you cannot escape. She doesn't kill you. You're ready to die for her. Write in the comments, would you ask for her gaze? Or would you rather live without love? Follow me if you want more stories about gods who make you tremble, not just from awe, but from fear. Because the most dangerous magic is the one hidden in a kiss. Aphrodite.